Good morning all, welcome to my One Take Friday video. Today is the 27th of August, I had to check the date then, I'm very organised am I? And I realised that last week when I uploaded my video it was 12 minutes long, which is ridiculously long, so I promise that this week's video will be much shorter. So I'm going away soon, and it reminded me I'm going to visit family, and where I'm going it reminded me of a poem I wrote a couple of years ago about visiting this place, and so I thought I would share that with you today. Now it gets a bit deep in the middle and there's some trigger points, trigger issues, so I'm going to cut a big chunk out the middle. It will be in my book when I finally release it, which I'm hoping will be winter 21-22, like early 22 maybe. There's been some delays on that, so if you want to read the whole poem, it will be in there and you'll have to buy the book. But for now I'm going to cut the chunk out of the middle, so hopefully you won't notice where the chunk was cut out, but anyway. So it's actually called Where Do I Belong? We set off at noon, arrived at 9:30. That's the way we car travel, my family and I. All 5 of us did travel together and survived, despite incredibly hot weather. Our car is old and gasps for breath, whilst travelling the motorway length and breadth. Finally, we drove onto the car ferry. And the kids so excited, they squealed with glee, not to mention my squeal, albeit internally. For adults aren't meant to squeal or be giddy. We do, but we're afraid we'll look silly, so we hide our excitement and retain sensibility, refrain from grinning as we take responsibility. But I can't help it this time. My face lights up. My grin is broad, the hair on the back of my neck stands up, for I am home from whence I came, my island retreat. So I grin to myself, sat in the back seat. Yes, back seat. For my firstborn has outgrown me, and subsequently he now gets to sit in the front seat. I was a child when I lived here on this beautiful isle, and I miss it so much I cry tears sometimes. When I left for the mainland, it was sold as adventure. I had no idea of the pressure my mother was under. So yes, I grew up as a teen on a council estate, nowhere near the ocean of which I could still taste. Is it any wonder that I love to return, that it feels like home whenever I do? Not because the hard times were few, but because the hard times there I can barely remember. The sounds of the ocean, the seagulls circling, the ships sounding their horns, the smell of the air and the sunrise at dawn. Familiar roads, worn-out places, cliffhanger scenes and greenfield spaces. Piers stretching into the sea. This is where I long to be. Because it was before the move? Because I was too young to have anything to prove? Because I was too young to care, naive in a good way? Because it was before? Or is it just because there's something special about being on an island, disconnected from the mainland where they've all gone mad? An isolated haven from the rest of the world. When we've been here a week, I crave my home. I guess we always want what we haven't got. For now this little visit has helped a lot. It's restored my soul and made me whole. Now I can return home, back to Bradford, where I belong. Or do I? So that was Where Do I Belong? And yeah, it's a bit of a question. I feel torn between 2 places, and as it says in the poem, like, after a week I'm quite happy to come home, and then I just miss it again. So yeah, it's like having 2 homes really. It's quite nice. So yeah, so that was my little poem today, and I just thought I'd share that with you because I'll be visiting that place again in the not too distant future. Hope you like the poem. If you do and you wanted to read it in full with all the nitty-gritty bit in the middle, it will be in my book, which will hopefully be released in the next few months, funding dependent from Arts Council England. Thanks guys, I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye.